What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Tim Sports Talk. And today we're continuing our record predictions for the 2021 NFL season. And today we got the Chicago Bears from the Windy City. And let's check out this roster. Their quarterback situation is interesting because we just saw the preseason game this weekend. It is clear Justin Fields needs to start sooner rather than later. This dude is a stud from Ohio State. I know there's so many people, Ohio State can't produce good quarterbacks. Ohio State's quarterbacks always stink. Blah, 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 blah. Dude, you got to turn on the film, and you actually got to watch the individual that's coming out. Okay, I was not a Dwayne Haskins fan. I wasn't a Terrell Pryor fan. I wasn't a lot of fan of people coming out of Ohio State. I was a fan of this dude, and he put on a show this weekend. This dude should be the starter week 1. But I think they're committed to the process, and they're going to see Andy Dalton week 1, and I'm going to give him until week 4, and then he's out. It may be quicker, but week 4, that's the earliest, and then he's out of there. All right, moving on. David Montgomery, really solid running back. Some people are actually putting him as high in the top 10 running backs. He finished really, really strong last year. He was a league winner when it came to fantasy-wise, and I think he's a solid running back. He was a third-round pick out of Iowa State. I'm still, lukewarm as far as him being a top-tier running back, but I do think he's an every-down back. I think he's a great running back in the league, and I think that he should be very, very solid again this year. Allen Robinson, absolute monster. Doesn't matter who's throwing him the ball. He is going to put up numbers. That is what it is. Then their backups, or their two other receivers with them, are both speedsters. Darnell Mooney, 4.38. Marquise Goodwin, 4.27. So they have added some speed to this team. Of course, Justin Fields is also a 4.4 runner. Riley Reed is interesting. They did get Daz Newsome in the draft. I'm not a huge fan of this wide receiver group, but they're okay, especially with Allen Robinson. They're not great. They're somewhere in the bottom half, but Allen Robinson's really, really good. Cole Kmet, Jimmy Graham, Jesse James. I really like that tight end group. I think that tight end group might be one of the better ones in the league when it comes to actual depth. None of them are world beaters. Of course, Jimmy Graham is super old now, but they're all solid, and a 3 tight end set here at the goal line is going to be really frustrating for defenses because all 3 of these guys can score in the red zone. Moving on to their offensive line, they signed Jason Peters, and Jason Peters is one of the best tackles of the last decade and a half, but he's 39 and a half, all right? Come on. He had an okay year last year. This guy, you can't, Father Time's undefeated, right? You can't win forever. Then that brings me to the rest of their offensive line is pretty mediocre, to be honest. This offensive line is towards the back half of the league, probably in the bottom 5 to 7 at best when it comes to offensive line. And offensive lines, as we all know, are really, really important. But if they get Justin Fields back there, Justin Fields can make some moves, and maybe it won't hurt them quite as much. Especially with the run game, it should be pretty darn solid. Moving on to their defense, and we're going to start with Akeem Hicks. Absolute beast on their defensive line. When he was in there, he was helpful so much to stop the run. And as soon as he went down, the defense was a completely different beast. Hopefully he stays healthy for this team and see where this goes. Eddie Goldman, he was a second-round pick from the 2015 draft. He opted out of last season, and he did not play. Bilal Nichols was a decent. Khalil Mack, we all know what he is capable of for sure. Woquan Smith, former first-round pick. I really like this dude. I think he is one of the better interior linebackers in the entire league. Danny Trevathan, solid. And then you have on the other side of the linebacker core, Robert Quinn, Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn, really great duo in this league as edge rushers. Then the cornerback is their most suspect position on the entire team. They did lose Kyle Fuller to free agency, and Jalen Johnson and Kendall Vildor, not very good when it comes to PFF. Same thing with Jesmyn Trufant, former first-round pick from Atlanta, had a horrible, horrible season last year. Maybe he can get back to form earlier in his career where he was actually decent. I like this safety duo. Eddie Jackson had a down year last year, but I still think he's a super good free safety in this league. I think he could get back to form, and this is a kind of team that they have super potential, and then they also have the potential to completely flop, right? They're kind of that sort of a team, and then combined with Matt Nagy as their head coach, not a fan of Matt Nagy. I don't know how he still has a job. It's unbelievable. But this is the Bears. All right, so let's check out their schedule and go down the list here. And as I said, I'm going to give Andy Dalton 4 weeks, and that's it. And it's going to be a loss to the Rams, a loss to the Bengals, a loss to the Browns. And then I think that it's either going to be this week or the next week. They're going to face one of these two teams, trying to bring in Justin Fields before they have to face the Packers, the Bucs, the Niners, the Steelers, so on and so forth. This will be a tough portion of their schedule, but they're going to bring in somewhere around this. Either way, whether they have Dalton or if they have Fields, they're going to beat the Lions. Actually, if they have Dalton, they may go 0-4. It's going to be bad. So I have them starting off 0-3, beating Detroit, beating the Raiders, and then they're going to lose to the Packers and lose to the Bucs, even with Justin Fields. It's not going to be enough. If they have Justin Fields, and by this point, I'm taking them to beat the Niners. I think this team is really, really good, and Justin Fields is an absolute beast, and they're going to beat the Steelers as well. They're going to come off the bye week, though, and then come down to earth with the Ravens. I don't think they're going to have enough to beat Lamar and John Harbaugh and company. They're going to beat the Lions again. I have them beating the Cardinals. I have them losing to the Packers. I believe they will get swept. No, I didn't have them losing to the Packers twice. I apologize. I had them losing only once. So they're going to lose one of these, and I have them winning on the road at Lambeau Field, which would be a shocker. Then I have them splitting with the Vikings, and I'll have them winning this one, losing the one later. Then I have them losing to Seattle and beating New York, and that will give them a 9-8 record. And Matt Nagy will somehow still survive as the head coach of the Chicago Bears. I'm sorry, Chicago Bears fans. Maybe you're a fan of Nagy. I'm not, and most of the fans I know aren't. I went to school in Northern Illinois, so I know a lot of Bears fans, and most of them are not a fan of Matt Nagy, but that is the case. So I am giving you guys a 9-8 record, middle of the road, middle of the pack. But you guys let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Also in the description below, there's a Discord link. Hop on our Discord and come talk some football. And last but not least, there are donation links in the description. If you feel so kind, you could donate to the channel. And until next time.